Welcome back to the Ghana Education Promotion Aptitude Test Preparation. Today we shall look at Part 1 of Classroom Experience and Management. The concept of classroom management, it can be explained as managing the classroom or school resources to ensure an effective teaching and learning process. These resources comprise both human and material resources. In recent times, the focus on classroom management has been geared towards guiding students to become more proficient at self-discipline, rather than applying classroom rules and regulations to control students' behavior. Studies have established that effective teaching and classroom management are positively related. Hence, good knowledge and skills in classroom management can predict the effectiveness of one's teaching. Teachers, therefore, need to acquire knowledge and skills in classroom management in order to enhance the effectiveness of their teaching. So, what are the responsibilities of the teacher in the school? The teacher's responsibilities are so extensive that he is not only responsible to his class, but, more importantly, to the school as a whole. The educational process is a team affair, and the teachers form part of the collective effort of the members of staff in the implementation of education programs of the school. Ryan and Cooper 1975 define the role of the teacher along 6 broad lines, and these are: 1. A mediator of learning. 2. A disciplinarian. 3. A parent substitute. 4. A judge. 5. A confidant. 6. A surrogate of specific value system. The teacher's classroom responsibilities, apart from the general role teacher play in the school. They play very important role in their respective classrooms. In addition to providing instruction, the teacher serves as a guide and helper to the children. Teacher creates an atmosphere in the classroom in which children gain sense of trust. They help the children feel secure as learners and persons, guiding them in making decisions and providing a rich environment for learning. The teacher's role in the classroom may be classified under instruction, evaluating students' achievement, administration, relationship with students, and guidance and counseling. In the case of instruction, we usually think of the role of a teacher. The conventional view of the classroom teacher is that of a person who transmits knowledge to pupils. Guided by the curriculum, the teacher must use various methods such as lectures, storytelling, demonstrations, discussion, the use of the computer, etc. to deliver his lessons. Concerning evaluating student achievement, evaluation of the whole instructional program is very crucial, and it is the responsibility of the teacher to conduct effective assessment of the student's achievement. Administratively, at the classroom level in the school, the teacher needs to exercise efficient management over their pupils, the resources at their disposal, and the various programs of learning to ensure that learning proceeds efficiently and that desired standards of output are maintained. The administrative roles relate to planning, policy making, organizing, coordinating, management of facilities, students' control, interpreting the syllabus, timetable, and communication. 1. For planning, this involves planning the learning and teaching program for his pupils. In this direction, the teacher should set objectives and procedures of achieving those objectives. It also involves preparation full lesson notes as well as materials and equipment needed for the teaching and learning process. It should also include how students' behavior could be managed to ensure discipline and effective teaching and learning. 2. On policy-making or decision-making, the teacher is expected to make decisions or policies concerning resources, teaching strategies, and discipline. Specifically, the teacher makes policies governing students' behavior, class organization, work standards, the use of equipment, etc. It is, however, important that such policies are made within the limits of his delegated powers. In the classroom, the teacher is also required to implement policies established by the school or Ministry of Education. 3. Concerning organization, one major responsibility of the teacher is organizing routine matters, instruction, and student learning activities. In this role, the teacher ensures that the entire subgroup and individuals within the class cooperate effectively. For example, it involves classroom arrangement and grouping of students to facilitate effective teaching and learning. For coordinating, the teacher is also expected to coordinate learning in the classroom with learning from other sources. He must also ensure that the classroom activities are coordinated with other activities of the school to avoid possible conflict. For example, he should ensure that students are not engaged in the classroom when they are supposed to be at school. 5. Management of facilities. The teacher, as a responsible administrator in the classroom, has important responsibility for effective and efficient management of facilities. This means he has to make the best use of all equipment provided to help the educational objective of the school. In this connection, the teacher has to learn the correct method of operation and care of the equipment and teach students how to properly handle them. He also has to account for all such facilities. 6. Student control. Effective teaching and learning cannot take place if the behavior of students interferes with proper classroom activities. Furthermore, as the teacher acts in loco parent, he is to be concerned with the development of behavior patterns that would help make the child a member of society. To succeed in his efforts to control the students and maintain sanity in the classroom, the teacher needs to understand the nature of the control and the most effective means of applying it. 7. Student data. It is the responsibility of the teacher to keep track of every student in his class. This involves the collection, recording, filling out, and utilizing data about the individual students in the class. The data is later transferred into the curriculum record. The teacher must also check and report the attendance of his pupil each school day and must report to the headmaster or any officer as required. 8. Communication. The teacher should be able to communicate effectively with students, parents, and staff members. Effective communication will enable children to understand vocabulary, facts, problems, and relationships between facts. The teacher must communications. This will help sustain students' interest and involvement over successive tasks. Effective communication with parents and other staff members, who are all stakeholders in the education of the child, enhances the work of the teacher. 9. Interpreting the syllabus. The curricula, as prepared by the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, reach the school and teachers in the form of syllabus. It is therefore the teacher's responsibility to interpret the syllabus by drawing a scheme of work in which he refers to specific materials that he knows reflect what is implied in the general statement about what to teach. 10. Timetable. The teacher is responsible for keeping a timetable, preferably at the notice board in the classroom. Timetables are essential if the teacher is to conduct a well-balanced program in the classroom. It ensures that each subject receives its due share of the instructional time and also allots to each activity the most suitable time of the day. On the part of students, it helps them prepare for the subject they are supposed to learn for the day. 11. Relationships with students. The teacher's primary task is to help his learners develop their individual potentials for intellectual, moral, and physical growth. The teacher, therefore, is to be just, courteous, and professional in all his ways and be responsible for promoting cordial relationship between teacher and students and between students and students. Such cordial relationship between teacher and students and between students and students can greatly enhance teaching and learning as students can go about their activity without fear. 12. Guidance and counseling. It is the duty of the teacher to help his pupils develop, as fully as possible, aspects of their potential. Part of the guidance role of the teacher is to monitor educational progress of students and advise or assist those who are underachieving. Other responsibilities include helping students make educational choices of subjects and career choices which greatly influence their future. Let us now look at the principles of effective instructions. These are the fundamental idea or issues that make the instruction process effective and efficient. 1. The principles of selection consist of the modification or adaptations that a teacher can make to render his program of instruction more suitable to the conditions of his students and of the school environments. 2. The principle of objectives. This is where students are made aware of the aims and objectives of learning what has been selected. 3. The principles of activity. This is when the learner becomes actively involved in the learning process, which will help him cultivate the habits of learning on their own and ultimately become independent of the teacher and self-reliant. For principles of interest, the teacher's responsibility is not to create interest but to direct it. For example, if a child is not attentive, that does not mean that he has no interest. He has, but it has been directed towards other things. The onus therefore rests on the teacher to redirect his interest to what is happening in the classroom. 5. The principles of individual teaching. Since individuals differ in their ability to make the response required of them, it is important that teachers plan their lessons so that, as far as possible, each learner embarks on a program that is commensurate to his capability to react adequately to stimulate what the teacher supplies. 6. The principles of repetition. This is where learners are given continuous practice to lay a solid foundation for the performance of higher tasks. 7. The principles of correlation. Every teaching unit that is designed should be part of the whole. Knowledge, as it stands, should not be divided into segments. The rationale underlying this principles of teaching is that the teaching of any content area must be presented to the students in such a way that student will understand it as part of a whole rather than isolated units which has no correlation with an other area of study. For example, topic in government and history are easy to correlate. Thanks for watching and do like, share and comment in the section below. See you in part 2. Cheers!